They say that Hollywood is a town built on dreams, and one of its greatest dreamers was Walt Disney. His life was filled with both exhilarating success and heartbreaking setbacks. But he never gave up. He just kept moving toward that great big, beautiful tomorrow. The story of Walt's life is truly a magical one, and no one could tell it quite like Walt himself.
He was the first cartoon character to stress personality, and I thought of him from the first as a distinct individual. I did the voice.
Hang on, pal. Here we go. Better watch out. He's liable to get you, man.
You know, I was stopped one day when a little boy asked, "Do you draw Mickey Mouse?" And I had to admit I do not draw anymore. Well, then you think up all the jokes and ideas. No, I said, I don't do that. Finally, he looked at me and said, "Mr. Disney, just what do you do?" Well, I said, sometimes I think of myself as a little bee. I go from one area of the studio to another and gather pollen and sort of stimulate everybody. I guess that's the job I do.
The 70th anniversary of Disneyland gave us an incredible opportunity to create this show, Walt Disney: A Magical Life, to remind the public about Walt Disney, his life, his career, his incredible journey. Creating an audio-animatronics figure of Walt Disney is something that the team took very seriously, likely as seriously as Walt Disney did in creating the audio-animatronics figure of Abraham Lincoln decades ago. It's our hope that this will be a lasting tribute to Walt Disney in the art form that he helped pioneer, and that it will become a permanent tribute to him here at Disneyland, the only park that Walt Disney ever walked in. Audio-animatronics has come a long way since the days of Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, both the art form and the technology behind it. For Walt Disney: A Magical Life, the team at Walt Disney Imagineering has created the most lifelike figure we have ever created. Our Imagineering team created dozens of what we call moonshots, which are big leaps in innovation for the Walt Disney figure. Things like soft eyelids, expressive eyebrows, the twinkle in his eye, the ability to lean and stand. All of these things are brand new, but all of these things bring the personality of Walt Disney to life in a way that could never have been done before. Walt Disney's story is an amazing one. What a journey. Throughout his career, he had setbacks, but he never gave up. He kept moving forward. And we thought that was a message that was an important one to share with our audience today. Follow your dreams. Never give up. Yes, you will have setbacks. Turn them into success and give the world your best. That at the core was Walt Disney's story, and that's one that we wanted to share with our audience.
This fitting tribute gives millions of our guests a moment of wish fulfillment, to feel what it was like to be in Walt's presence. We worked very closely with the Walt Disney Archives and the Walt Disney Family Museum to make sure that we were accurately depicting the details of Walt and his office. But most importantly, we were passionate about creating an audio-animatronics portrayal that had all of his nuances, his facial expressions, his hand gestures, all those things that made this performance, this theatrical presentation, feel uniquely Walt, and not simply creating a figure that looked like Walt.
Walt Disney Imagineering contacted the Walt Disney Family Museum in San Francisco several years ago, and a team came up to visit, and several family members were there, and that kicked off a wonderful collaboration between the company and the museum. And we've loaned 35 objects to this exhibition, including some furniture from Walt's apartment above the firehouse on Main Street, and also a select number of beautiful awards. He won over 1,000 awards in his lifetime, and there are a few here on display for the first time.
Well, we're really excited to have our guests come back to the Main Street Opera House to see a brand new show that really celebrates the history of Disneyland and the building of it, called The Evolution of a Dream. Part of this is going to be a never-before-seen concept art and renderings that our guests have never been able to see, but are going to be on display here, as well as a look into Walt's apartment, maybe what it was like for Walt to live on Main Street and watch Disneyland being built. As part of the show, we're showing the history of Audio-Animatronics, which is really exciting because we start with the Dancing Man, Tiki Room, Small World, Pirates, and we're also hoping that our guests stop for a moment and take a look at our exit corridor where we celebrate our Disneyland cast from 1955 to 2025, and also the milestones of Disneyland and what's coming in the future.